Hey folks, how y'all doing today? You're back with Big CheeZ for another episode of Valheim 101. This time we're on weapons, okay? Weapons and combat, basically. So, in this episode, we're just going to go over different weaponry you've got up to the end of the bronze tier kind of set, the kind of abilities, your moves, etc. that you've got with it, so you can kind of customize it to your playstyle, okay? So, starting from the very basic, okay? So we've got, obviously, our little stone axe, okay? You started off with this thing ages ago, and it must feel like such a strange thing right for you now, okay? But obviously, you've got the axe, you've got the flint axe, you've got the bronze axe, okay? And all really good things, right? We're not going to qualify this in terms of weaponry, although I think the world of the axe. We should get rid of those two right now. But I think of the world of the axe. But the game doesn't qualify it really as a weapon, which is why for the axe, you don't get much to it, okay? You've got the swing, okay? And you've got a swing in that way, which is great. You've got the block, obviously, but you do not get a special attack with the axe, okay? Like you do other weapons. All the other weapons that we're going to go over will have a special attack with them, but the axe does not, okay? That is its downside. So each weapon has a kind of advantage and disadvantage. With the axe, it's a tool as well as a weapon, so you kind of get the benefit of not having to carry too much if you don't want to, but it is first and foremost a tool, unfortunately. Okay, but second, all right, this is the second piece of weaponry you can really kind of get into. Once you kind of get into flint stuff, you can get a spear, okay, a proper spear, okay. So obviously you get a bit more range with this thing, but the attacks with it it's very draining on your stamina, okay. So it doesn't last for very long. But the benefit with the spear is you do get a bit of range with it, okay. So with a special attack with a spear, you get to throw the thing, all right, and it does do a chunky lot of damage. It does take a bit of your stamina, as you can see, so nearly a block there, but it does do a lot of damage. It does do a good chunk of knockback too, so you can generally hit them, run in, grab your spear back, and hit them again with the same thing, okay? Which makes it nice and easy to take out grey dwarfs until there's a lot of them, okay? And as we know full well, there tends to be a lot of grey dwarfs. If you're fighting them one-on-one, the spear is not a bad tool to use, especially when it's in its early stages. But yeah, it's a bit of a thing, okay? But once you get into the bronze spear, kind of chunkier thing, okay, attacks don't change, unfortunately, okay? It still stays the same, but you get obviously that benefit, you get that bonus in terms of attack damage, okay, in terms of attack power, because we all want the power, don't we? If I can find a dude, it'd be really handy right about now, but I'd take that real quick. Fine. Just so we get 3 bars back so we can kind of mess around with this properly. It's weird. It's when I want them to turn up, they are nowhere to be found. Anyone? Anywhere? Really? Anyone? No? Greylings! This is why, unfortunately, I can't do an actual live combat thing for all of these to kind of test out the damage or anything like that. And also because my skills are kind of so unbalanced with all these things that it's kind of a bit unfair anyway. But anyway, yeah, so you get the picture, okay? With the spears, you get the benefit of throwing the things, all right? Which is great, which is terrific, and it does give you a little bit of advantage in combat when you have that option. You don't have to swap to a bow or anything like that, okay? But, spears, they have their uses. You get a little bit of extra range for it, but the downside with them is you do use a lot more stamina than with a typical weapon, okay? Next up, bows, okay? There's not really a lot to compare with bows other than the wood bow and the fine bow, okay? Obviously, once you can afford the fine wood bow, you are going to upgrade to it, no ifs, ands, or buts. And obviously, with the bow, you've got the little kind of aiming thing, okay? So, in case you didn't know with the bow already, that reticule is not just a measurement of power. So, once it's in its center, it does do more damage, but it also is an indicator of how straight the arrow is going to go, right? If you let off there, okay, obviously, it's just going to go flying off to the side. So, make sure you are letting the bow draw to its full length, get as tiny a circle as you can let it before you let it go, not just for aim but also for that power, okay? The bow does obviously draw on its on stamina. I screwed that up, only just, but only still. Oh, come on, dude, you should have died there. The bow obviously does draw on stamina for its holding kind of thing, so as long as you're still drawing on it, it's still going to draw on stamina, which is a bit of a shame. You also do not get a special attack with the bow. There is no like bonk them on the head or anything like that, but you do get a block with the bow at the very least. I should say as well that with all of these things, okay, you do have the benefit of dodging, okay, so rolling away, okay, which is a pretty handy thing. It's not too bad at all. I doubt one killed it in one shot. What the hell? I should say, right, there is a range on the damage for all of these weapons, okay? So, like with my bow, it's 23 to 35. That's how big the gap is between that, okay? It's obviously got pierce, which is good for kind of certain things, but you will also find, as you go through the game, different enemies react differently to different weaponry, okay? So, for example, greybeards, if we're attacking them with, say, fire arrows down here, which you can do like that, if you're trying to figure out how to do it, by the way, if you've got one arrow selected, if you go onto another arrow and just right click on them, it will equip that arrow instead. Okay, so now we've got 5 arrows equipped to it. When the next Grey Dwarf comes up, we will set his ass on fire. But yeah, anyway, so it has a certain range, okay, obviously, and that damage does take into account a little bit, but when you're going between the things, so for example, like with the mace and with the sword, okay, damage isn't that different, all right? As you can see, 1327, 1428. There's not really much in it. It's one level, okay? And to be fair, they are both the same level. Yeah, they're both the same level, so not really changing that much with that, okay? But with the sword and the mace, they are your kind of your one-handed weapons, obviously, okay? Both of them you can equip with the shield, okay? You can do that with the spear as well, but it works a hell of a lot better with the shield because you're going to be hiding behind it. It's just easy to move with it. Trust me. Okay, just trust me on this one. But with both of these two, you do get a special attack. Okay, so with the sword, it's a case of stabby stab. Okay, and it is also a much quicker weapon than the rest of them anyway. Okay, you can swipe, swipe, swipe. You get a little bit of an area of effect in front of you. So if there is a group of them in front of you, you get a bit of a swipe around across all of them. And of course, that little jabby jab, it's not too bad either. Okay, with the mace, it's a little bit different. All right, it's a little bit of a slower one. Okay, and it also does take a bit of a slower one on its special attack as well, as you can see. Okay, you do really have to take a good swing and get the timing just right to work it. But if you do that, the benefit with the mace is that it does have a hell of a lot more knockback. Okay, so if you are fighting a few enemies at once, if you fight maybe a big chunky enemy who's about to swing at you, you do get the benefit that you are going to smack him back with that. Okay, but it's up to you. You know, if you're better with running in the stabby stab, then go with the sword. If you prefer tanking it a little bit more, maybe you've got you're that person on the team who's in heavy armor or something like that, which does actually factor into this game a little bit. Bronze armor is heavier than say troll hide armor, so you may not always want to wear it. But if you are that character who is on say bronze armor, or later on when you're on iron armor, if you prefer being a tank character, maybe you would prefer a mace. Maybe you want to go a bit more heavy duty on everything, knock people back and be able to survive longer for your team. But yeah, they're the benefits for those ones, okay? There is, however, one more weapon, okay? It doesn't have really a comparison to the other ones. Okay, this is a pole arm, okay? Or in this game, it's called, what is it called? It's called an Atgear? Atgear, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, okay? Now, it does have the same kind of range, sort of functions as the spear, though it's not quite as quick as it, okay? As you can see, right? It's still got some nice animation and stuff like that to it, but it does chunk out that stamina in the same way the spear does, because it's that two-handed weapon, okay? The benefit this has, it's not a ranged weapon, you can't be thrown or anything like that, but it does have the benefit of that, okay? That area of effect, okay? Swipe all the way around you. So when you are getting mashed by a lot of enemies at once, this thing is pretty dope, all right? It's pretty killer, okay? And for stats-wise, it's not bad either, okay? So 16 to 33 compared to, say, the single-handed weapons, 1428. So there's not a whole lot in it, to be perfectly honest with you. It's at the same level as those ones are, but you have the knockback, you have 30, so that is the same as, it's a little bit less, sorry, than the sword, but there is much that makes no difference. Parry, you got a bit more bonus with that one, and you got parry force, which is a bit better as well. So this, I mean, it is better to block with this one, okay, than the other weaponry, so that's good as well. Obviously, you don't have the ability, I don't think you have the ability to use a shield with this, so do you? No, you don't. So you see, we put a shield away, I put a shield out even, and we do put that one away. So there is a few weapons in this that are more double-handed. So I haven't shown you a hammer, which is a stag breaker, so you need a bunch of stag heads to use it. And again, that is kind of the slower end weaponry, but that's kind of your basic level before you get onto the mace. That's what that one kind of is like. But yeah, okay, so they're your weapons, but what we're also going to go through, just real quick, is your tools as well, okay? So you guys know the pike, the pickaxe, and everything like that, okay? So your antler pickaxe and your bronze pickaxe, all they're good for is, whacking away, getting your metal, stuff like that. They're good for weaponry, actually. The bronze pickaxe has been helpful now and again when I've gone out without any weapons. But what we're going to talk about first is hoe and your cultivator. Okay, so your hoe is for leveling ground. Right? Very handy tool when it comes to building, right? Making things look pretty and everything like that. Also giving you a nice base to work from, okay? Now, if you're careful with it, you can, flatten stuff out quite nicely like that, okay? Get a nice level ground going. As long as you don't keep whacking away and don't just keep tap, 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 okay? It is a case you only have to do it kind of once and it will level out the ground, make a nice little path for you guys, okay? So that's nice for that one, okay? What you can also do with this is you can raise the ground, okay? So if you are building a base and you have, set out all your platforms or anything like that, okay, you need to go away. How about that? Come here, come on. Swing! Ah, you didn't. Do. Oh, the mace comes under clubs. My bad, sorry. So, the basic version of the mace is the club. It's not the big hammer. My bad. But So again, you can get started on a set of weaponry right from the beginning if you do invest in the club. But I haven't shown the club here because you will get past that weapon very quickly. all of these, including the axe, the very basic axe, is better than that club. All right, I guarantee you guys. All right, I promise you that. But anyway, sorry. So yeah, we're on cultivators and stuff like that. Go back to this, back to that. Right, so you can raise the ground. Okay, you need a little bit of stone to do it, and all these things. This one does take being near a workbench to do. But if, for example, you set down a load of supports, like I tend to do for my building, and then put everything on top of it, you may want to then raise the ground afterwards so that it then has a level. So that bottom level is all blue, so it's all got ground level support. Very handy for when it comes to building, all right? What you can also do with this is you can make a path, okay? So it doesn't flatten the ground necessarily. It will flatten it a little bit, and it will tend to get rid of most of the vegetation and stuff, but make a little path for you. So once you are making like little villages or anything like that, you might want to have like a little path or something like that leading to everywhere, which is really great for the hoe. Okay, but once you've done that, you can't repair it with the hoe. Okay, what you can do, however, with the cultivator, which is your bronze level kind of hoe, I guess, is plant grass again. Okay, so you can turn this all the way back to grass, which is really nice, isn't it? Okay, turn it all the way back, and it's perfectly back to normal, which is lovely. Okay, so it means you can have your nice gardens, you can clear things down with the hoe, and then sort it out with the cultivator. Okay, the cultivator is also your item for doing gardening. Okay, so you want to turn all this into, you know, farmland, cultivated soil. Okay, you can do that, no problem. Okay, if you've got it, you know, nice and flat or anything like that, it's perfect, right? All you need then is you need a corn seed, or you need a fir sapling to grow your own trees. You can grow your own plants, you can grow your own trees. It's nice and easy. And eventually, I'm going to be getting onto this on mine. I haven't even started doing this on my one yet, just because I've been fiddling about with it quite early, basically. If we could find a carrot seed, I would plant one right now so you guys can see what it's like, because I've never done either. But I don't think I'm going to get that lucky. But yeah, okay, so that's the basics, guys. That's your tools, your weaponry. So you've got your spear, which is nice and quick, okay, and also has a little bit of range for a melee weapon. You've got your axes, which have the benefit of being both tool and weaponry, and something you can work on all the time, but no special ability. You've got your sword, which is basically your quick hand, your one-hand weapon, and has a nice sort of front with area of effect. You've got your mace, which is more of your knockback weapon and a more heavy duty kind of version. You have your polearm, your Atga, or Adja. If someone out there can let me know phonetically how to say that word, I would really appreciate it, which is more your area of effect melee weapon. So I hope that's helped you guys out. I hope you, you know, based on your play styles and stuff like that, that helps you kind of figure out what weapon you might want to use. But I've been Big CheeZ. I hope that's really helped you guys out today. I will see you again very soon for more advanced building in the next episode. So next episode, we're going to go through advanced building and how to build a Viking hall. After that, we have the docks coming up after that too. But anyway, I've been Big CheeZ. I hope you've had a great day. I hope you are coming to join me on my Valhalla series on my channel. And if you are, and if you fancy joining in my actual horde and coming to do some exploring with me, coming to fight some bad guys, let me know. I would love to have some more people to join my server. But in the meantime, stay happy, guys. Stay positive, stay cheesy out there. Keep looking after each other. And I'm back very soon with some more Valheim for your ass. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.